Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, I hope you're all well. So I thought I'd make this video because I enjoy tinkering with guitars. And I'm sure some of you guys do too.
3, 4.
And some of you guys appreciate this kind of content, so I thought I'd make this video and bring you along for the ride. Basically, HSS configuration, I understand it's, supposedly one of the most versatile tonally configurations of pickups, and lots of people swear by that configuration when it comes to guitars. They're not very common in my world. I own only one guitar with an HSS configuration, which is the guitar we're going to be changing the pickups of in this video. All my other guitars are either double humbuckers or 3 single coils or tellies or whatever. So I just thought it's something that I wanted to explore more.
Most people don't know Dora the Explorer was inspired by a real girl.
This is my Massaad Regis Core Classic. I do a lot of work, or have done a lot of work with Massaad guitars. I think they make absolutely incredible instruments. They're based out in Poland, and David and Matt and the team there are such lovely people, and I've always enjoyed playing their guitars and working with them over the years. And I got sent this one a long time ago.
Okay, we have the Regis Core Classic.
And this has an HSS configuration. These are bare knuckles, and I cannot remember the name of this particular model.
It's got a bare knuckle Black Hawk in the bridge and 2 Cobras in the middle and the neck position.
But basically, I wanted to change these for my signature Silo humbucker and my signature triptych single coils, because I've not heard that configuration. A lot of people have ordered that configuration from bare knuckle and said it's amazing, they really love the way it sounds, and I was like, I want to hear that because I haven't heard it and I don't know what it's going to be like, but I'm sure it'll be fun. So please join me along for the journey. Here are my bare knuckle pickups. Here's the Massaad Regis Core Classic. Let's crack on. Right, tools for the job in no particular order. First things first, we need a coffee because this is stressful work if you get it wrong. Next, I want to shout out some cool tools that I got by recommendation of my good friend Max, who you must have seen on my channel if you've been following me for a while.
Hello.
He recommended this brand called Fantic, and they make really cool travel-sized effective tools. This isn't sponsored in any way, just a shout out. If you guys are into this kind of stuff and you want to know about this kind of thing, then I thought I'd shout it out. So first things first, as you can see on the close-up here, this is a soldering iron. Comes with a cool little stand, and that's the soldering iron there, as you can see, and it goes up to 450 degrees C. It's chargeable with USB-C. Super lightweight, has a light that emits from the bottom, and in the stand that it comes with, when you press this little button, all the nibs are inside. Super slick, I love it. I love that kind of design. Also, I got this, which is an electric screwdriver. Basically, you press the end, like that, screwdriver comes out, it's a tiny little thing, comes with all of these bits. Look at that. We've got some solder wick. There's a solder sucker that comes with the soldering iron. Of course, our pickups. So we've got 2 single coils, of course, and a humbucker. Now I wanted to make sure that they were a similar kind of vibe to what was in there before. Black satin cover with gold hex bolts. And then on top of that, standard black covered single coils, as you can see. And then another very, very useful thing for this kind of work, because I'm currently using Big Bertha, which is VOWER's in-ear rig. The Ernie Ball Tech Mat. This thing I actually use as a mouse pad upstairs in my mix room, but they're incredibly useful. We roll it out, and we've got, watch me spill my coffee all over this now. Look at that, a perfect setup for the guitar so it doesn't get scratched. Okay. John will obviously speed all this up. Thank you for watching. Let's begin. Look at that. Okay, so here's the inside. This is the preamp that I really love that Massaad do. It's like proprietary to them. And basically what it does is it adds compression and like an EQ shift, and it just sounds really vocal and lovely. Like a piezo kind of vibe, but not quite the same, but it's just really, really nice. And then it looks fairly simple with regards to what's actually going on in here. It's worth saying that obviously with bare knuckle already installed in here, that it should be just a like-for-like swap between the 2 sets. So I'm not too worried. If you're using different branded pickups and you're swapping things out, it's worth referring to the pickup manufacturer's website, where they'll obviously tell you what you need to do with regards to where to put what wire. So the only thing that's going to make this quite complex is this preamp here, and I haven't really tried to rewire anything like this before, so it might take me a little bit longer, but we will see. Alright, I've never turned this on. How do you know it's on? Oh, there we go. It's flashing, probably to tell us when it's heating up. That's getting hot quick. I think when the light goes solid, it might mean that it's heat. Ah, that is very quick. So let's take this one. Wow. Simple. Pull this little chappy out of there. Okay, so the first problem we've encountered is that the legs are square at the edges here, and I need them to be oval. Not oval, curved. So I need to snip away a little bit here and here. Lovely. That looks pretty good. There's a lot of cable excess with new pickups, as you know, and I could snip it down, but I kind of don't like to snip the wire down for whatever reason. So I just kind of coil it around in a way that works for me. Red goes to the super switch, black and bare go to the top of the volume pot. So it should be a fairly easy soldering job. So this soldering iron knows when I'm picking it up, and it reheats itself. It sort of cools down in between. That's wild. Okay, so let's get this soldered back on. In and done. Okay, so I've done the humbucker. Red's here, bare and black are there. So that should work. And the green and basically the split cable, the green and the white, aren't in use in this particular setup. So I'm just gonna, there we go. Out of the way. Happy days. Okay, next I need to do the single coils. So the only thing I've noticed here is that we've got this cluster of single coil cable that I need to swap out. So with a single coil you have two wires, the black and the white. The whites come to the super switch here, and then the blacks go in here. So I haven't actually seen what I'm looking for in here yet. Alright, so they are soldered together into these three other black cables. So we'll go one pickup at a time at this point, because I don't want to mess it up too badly. Let's go for middle next. Okay, so I've got the middle pickup now. It's in, but we need to solder it. So the only bit that I'm sort of questioning at this stage is that obviously this clump of wires here, that's for all the black wire, and then the white wire is going to be simple. So let's just do the white wire real quick. Get him in there. A little bit more on that one. But you know what? I'm going to take the black wire off the neck pickup now, so that I can easily put them all back on at the same time. I think that's probably sensible. Yeah. Okay. And then take him off there. The neck pickup is now taken off. Let's get that in there. I am really surprised at the power of this little thing. It's great. Come out with a bit of a tug. I'll grab the neck. So the cool thing with the triptychs is that we added zinc plates to the bottom of them on the neck and the bridge, which allow you to use a bit more gain, but they retain their kind of response, and they actually allow you to higher the output without sacrificing dynamics, which is really nice. So you end up with a really vocal, you know, went for that early to mid 60s voicing on these pickups. So you keep that, you keep the dynamic, you keep the sort of touch response feel of that style of pickup, but it's higher output, so it handles gain better, and it means that it doesn't get wiry and shrill when you gun the gain in there. Okay, we got them through the first part of the assault course, and now let's do the second part. Please say that you're already through. Yes. Oh, look at that. Okay, that was a lot easier than I was anticipating. So I think easier to do the white cable first. Okay, so I think I've successfully wired these pickups into this guitar, and we'll only know when we plug it in, but everything looks peachy. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some electrical tape, and I'm just going to tape up these soldered bits here because I don't want them to cause any kind of interference with each other. So now just got to find a nice tidy way of putting them in. If in doubt, just shove it down.
If you've got a problem, stuff a worm in it.
And worry about it later. That looks good. I'm just going to go ahead and screw in the pickups, and then we'll have to do a little signal test, which you can do with a screwdriver and touching the magnets.
Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets.
Okay, everything's wired in. As you can see, I've got everything's in there. I haven't put the cavity plate back on yet. But the pickups are installed, they're screwed down, they're looking nice. One thing I might have to do is get slightly longer pickup screws for the bridge and the neck, the middle and the neck, because they're quite low compared to the bridge, but they are higher output, so they might be okay. For now, we're just going to leave it as it is. So the next thing we're going to do is test. So I've got the guitar plugged into an amp here. Very nice. Middle. And neck. In between. Very good. Very good. Next thing I want to do is just check that the split works. Yep. Everything's working. Let's get it strung up and plug it in and see how it sounds. Okay, so everything's wired in, everything's good to go. I've set up my QC in a hybrid amp swapping rig with my Kraken, going to the 412, and I just want to give it a quick tone test. My initial guess is that the middle and the neck pickup are way too low. I'm going to need to fix that, but I don't have time today to do that, so I just wanted to give it a quick tone test. In any case, one of the things I love most about this guitar is that when you pull the volume knob, you engage the preamp, which compresses things. Sounds really lovely on the middle and the neck. But let's start with some clean tone. Well, let's start with some crunch ambient tones, the style I like to play. So now if I engage the preamp, we'll start on the neck pickup, so. Okay, that wraps it up for this video. Hopefully John was able to edit it down so that it was a nice, reasonably enjoyable length of video to watch. But I have to say, just plugging it in then and having my first impressions, I love the way this guitar sounds. The preamp is one of my favorite features of Massaad guitars. I wish all guitars had that because it's just such an enjoyably articulate sound, and it's really, really fun to play. This guitar is very bright. I would say that. It's actually characteristic with a lot of Massaad guitars. Their guitars are bright, and it's sort of getting used to the characteristics of the pickups. The middle and the neck are a tiny bit ice picky, and that's because I feel like they're not close enough to the strings to really do their job properly. So I'm gonna have to get in there and raise them up a little bit, and then I'll probably have another pass at this. But the Silo, it's a great sounding pickup, and to be fair, when I add the preamp to the middle and the neck, that's where the triptychs really come into their own and sound phenomenal, because they're getting that extra boost from the preamp to be able to pick up more, and they just sound fantastic. So I'm really, really happy with how this sounds. I'm glad that I didn't break it or mess it up when it came to actually soldering and putting it all together. It's a great guitar. I really, really like it, and I'm really happy that it's now got an HSS configuration that I really enjoy the sound of. So I'm really happy about that. As always, thank you to Bare Knuckle Pickups for being so supportive and believing in me as an artist enough to make 3 sets of signature pickups at this point. And I really, really love this config, so that's really great. And of course, Massaad for making awesome guitars as well. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe and share. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and of course I'll link to the guitar, to the pickups, everything else, and even to the tools if you're interested, in the description box below. But as always, thank you for watching. I've been Rabea, and I will see you all very soon.